Hey, I'm Dallas with Lower Gear Outdoors. We are a kayak dealer in the Tempe, Arizona area. Today we have a customer came in with a Loon 160. It's an older model, but he managed to he dropped it on the freeway or something, but it folded in half on him. So he's asked us to see if we can make it seaworthy for him again. So we're going to do some plastic welding and see what we can do. The problem is here. This thing cracked all the way in, so you can see, flip through there, I can see the bottom of the warehouse floor, which is not a good thing if this was on water. So we're going to try to seal this all the way through. We'll flip it over and take a look and see how we can make this thing get back on the water real quick. So from the bottom side, you can see nature of the problem. We've got big gap here. What we're going to need to do is we'll use suction cups or a hammer or a mallet rather, and we need to even this back up. And then what we're going to do is take these little staples and using a plastic welder like this, embed them in there across. So it's going to be sort of like stitches on your skin, but we've got to deal with the crack on this thing that ran this way all the way over to the other side. And we're going to embed these in there after we get this line back up, and that'll be our next step. We'll take a quick look at, we've already done a little bit of it. Let's take a look at the other side. So here's where we got started with it. We've put these in there, and then we just snip off the uprights on it like that, and then we'll smooth this down some, add some plastic to it, but we'll take it a step at a time and show you what it looks like here in just a minute. We started putting the staples in. We're going to leave that till they're in. We want to strengthen up these sides first. And what we'll end up doing with these is just, you can see the uprights there are still on this one. We'll just get it down there as close as possible. They do want to go flying, so you want to watch your eyes with this. And then you can use a file or a Dremel, doesn't take much. And we're going to smooth those down. We'll get rid of the ridges there. We'll end up going in behind it and added some plastic to it, but this will knock this out pretty quick. And then we'll show you how after we get this done. We've got the sides of the kayaks pretty well reinforced. And this is obviously the main crack. So it's helpful if you got some suction cups or if you've got somebody that can help you push in from the other side. And we're going to do some repairs on the inside as well. O-Towns in particular have 3 layers of plastic, and so one of them on the inside, and then there's another one. This is the outside. What we're going to do for this, first of all, is, like we were talking about earlier, we're going to get these things lined up, and then I'm going to create just a little groove of sorts through here. We're still going to staple it, but this will create a little, almost like we're plowing the plastic. We're just going to do half of it for right now. Oop. You want to do this in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to be snorting this plastic fumes. Let me smooth this ridge out. And then the next step we're going to do is fill this little plowed area with some plastic. We don't have any green that really matches. The customer realizes this is going to have an ugly Frankenstein stitch in it. So we'll take some, we got some blue that will drop in here just to fill that back up. And then once we do this side, we'll staple it all like we have on the sides. And here we're just adding some plastic from a rod. We're going to bridge the area. If this was above water line, this would probably be enough to cover most strengthening cracks up, but since this is below water line, we'll also be using the staples. At this point, we have applied some new plastic to it after filling in the little plowed area, if you will. And all we have left to do now is we're going to smooth this down a little bit. We've done a little bit here. We're going to use a little Dremel. You could also use sandpaper. It takes it down pretty quick. And just to make it a little bit smoother. So we'll finish that up, apply the staples in it, and then take another look. So right now already it's definitely stronger than it was, but we're not done yet. We're mostly done with the welding and the stapling on the bottom of the hull. So it is positioned correctly. Now we're taking a look at the inside of the hull. And again, this is that second or third layer of plastic. It's on the inside here. I think all we're going to have to do with this one is just melt it. We're not going to add any plastic to it, but we will melt this in just to make it'll increase the strength of that. And then we've got a couple things up here in the gunwale area. So like this cracked as well when it folded in half. This will just add some staples here, and it's the same thing on the other side. Once we're done with that, all we'll have left is once we smooth down the bottom, we'll clean it up and spray it with some one of these Flex Seal, like as seen on TV. They actually work pretty good. Just add a little bit more waterproofing to it. Back to the cockpit area, we just took the plastic welder and just sort of ran it down here and melted the two split seams together. We're not going to add any more plastic to this layer. All the strengthening process and the staples are on the underneath side, water side of the hull. We also added, where it had cracked the hole here, we've added staples here and here. We'll grind those down. This isn't as critical as there's no water resistance necessary here. Just keep that strong. And we did the same thing on this side of the gunwale, that added a staple here and one underneath it. Again, that'll be plenty just to add some strength. So it just leaves a little bit of cleanup, some Flex Seal, and then we'll test it, give it the hose treatment, and make sure it's watertight. We've come back to this the next day and have smoothed this out with a file to get rid of all the uprights on the staples. And then I've also applied, just as a extra coating, to fill in any gaps that might exist from the plastic welding. It's literally just like this, as seen on TV. There's a million things like this out there, but it actually does work. Offers some protection against this dragging on the bottom. It'll just help over the long run. We'll give it a high-powered hose test here in just a few minutes to see if it works, but otherwise it's pretty strong. We can jump up and down on it pretty well. Not seeing any bending. If we can ever do any kind of repairs for your boat, hopefully it won't be split in half like this one was, I'd be glad to give you a hand. Just check us out at lowergear.com.